Alright, so I'm going to be reviewing Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which came out, I believe, in 85 or 86. I'm not sure what year it was, but, this movie follows, I think, 5 or 10 years after the events of the first movie, which there's a teenage boy and his family that move into Nancy Thompson's house, and he starts having these weird dreams about Freddy and Freddy trying to take over his body so he can get out into the real world. And so of course no one believes him. They just think he's just being a weird teenager. And Freddy, finally, well, there's some things like Freddy's still in the dream, like he keeps having these, like, people are dying, and then he remembers, like, being there, but there's like a slip in time. So he's like, was I really there, or what's really going on? And then finally Freddy, possesses his body and then comes out in the real world, and all hell breaks loose. um Now this film is considered the most controversial in the series, and the main reason is because um, Freddy, at the end, near the end and half of the movie, breaks out into the real world and starts killing people. And I know people have a lot of problems with that, which I don't get. And then this movie is also called the gay one in the series, and because people say there's a lot of gay subtext in it, which I'm not really gonna get into all of that. Because there's a documentary that came out called Never Sleep Again: The Elm Street Legacy, and when they discuss part 2 of the series, they go into great detail about the gay subtext and theories in it. Um, but I don't know why people hate this movie. I don't know why they were bitching about Freddy being dragged out into the real world, because this, I understand, like, yeah, he's not in his dream world. That's where he's most powerful at, and that's where he resides. But they wanted to be different and creative with this one, and I don't mind it. And honestly, this is the last time you see a serious Freddy. And I mean, in part 3, he's kind of serious, but that's the movie where he starts being jokey and starts giving one-liners before he kills people. And so I'm gonna tell you this: this part 2, Freddy's Revenge, is way better than Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and I will say that. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not gonna criticize people about it, but that movie gets more praise than part 2 for some reason, and I think that movie is a piece of shit. And I don't care if you want to hate on me or what. It's just a movie. But okay, so my favorite, I like the fact that Freddy possesses Jesse's body and comes out into the real world. I thought that was different. That was creative. It was different from the rest of the series, because in the rest of the movies he just stays in the dream world and kills people. Um, One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Freddy possesses Jesse, and Freddy's trying to break out of Jesse's body because Jesse, was at a party and he's with this girl, and they're making out and stuff. And when he's making out with her, his tongue comes out, but it's like Freddy's, like a demonic tongue, so it's like Freddy took over his body. And so he runs to his friend's house, and he's like freaking out. I think his name is Grady. Yeah, Grady. And Grady's like, "What are you doing in my room?" And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "There's something inside me, and it's trying to get out." And he's like, why don't you go back to that girl since she why are you gonna come run to me if you got a girl that you can get with? Something like that. And then like you see like Jesse like convulsing and stuff, and you see like something trying to break through him, and he's like freaking out. Grady's freaking out, and you see like Freddy's claws like busting out of his hands and like ripping through him, and then like you see Jesse's mouth is open, and you see like Freddy's eyeball peering out, and then like he rips through Jesse, and then comes out, and Grady's like freaking out. He's like banging on the door and stuff. But Freddy comes up, slices him. Um, then there's the the infamous pool party massacre where Freddy goes and there's a bunch of kids at this pool party, and Freddy goes, "You're all my children now." And like there's a guy that comes up to him trying to reason with him, and Freddy just kills him. And then he just starts slashing his kids up at a freaking pool party. I thought that scene was great. I don't understand why people, like I said, people hate this movie. I mean, if I saw Freddy like doing that shit in real life, I would be freaked out. Um, uh, shoot, I'm trying to think. This is also one of the movies. This is the creepy. This is my favorite looking Freddy. He is so creepy looking in this movie. I don't have a picture of him. There's not a picture of him in here of what he looks like in this movie. But I think the art director Kevin Yeager said that he wanted him to look like a demon or a witch, so he gave him like a hook nose. He kind of looks like his skin's more like crumpled up and stuff. Like he looks like a freaking demon. His eyeballs are really creepy looking. They're like yellow and red. Um, I don't know. There's just because like in this movie, in the first one, his face is more in the shadows and stuff. So most of the time you just see his eyes, and sometimes you see his face, and it's just like really creepy looking how he looks. Um, there's a scene where Jesse is a dream scene where Jesse's walking around outside because he hears a noise, and he looks down, and in the basement he sees Freddy runs around in the furnace, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" So he goes back in the house, and he's gonna go down into the basement, um, to see what he's doing. And Freddy grabs him, and he's telling him like basically, I'm trying to get into your body and stuff, so I can get out into the real world. And he pulls off his hat, and he goes, "You got the body, I got the brain." And he takes like the skin. It's like very thin. Like he don't have a skull for some. I guess it's burnt. But he takes the skin and he's like peeling it off, and you see his brain like exposed. Um, trying to think of some other scenes that really stand out. There's a scene too where I guess this is part real life. I'm trying to remember if Freddy, because he didn't possess Jesse yet. But there's a scene where Jesse's like walking around, and he goes to like this gay bar. And I guess that's the only like obvious gay theme in the movie. But like there's like this coach, like this gym coach that's really like a dick to him, and he catches him in the bar, and he's making Jesse run around and stuff, like doing push-ups and stuff, and well, there's a scene where they're in the bathroom, where the principal, not the principal, the coach is in the bathroom, and um, Freddy gets a hold of him, and he starts smacking his ass with a towel, which I didn't get. I was like, that's kind of weird. And then he like slashes his back up, kills him, and then he like dunks a bunch of basketballs on him. I thought that was weird. Uh, there's a um, there's some weird like kind of goofy scenes in it. There's like a scene where Freddy possesses a bird, like a parrot, or not a parrot, a parakeet, I think it is, or a cockatoo, or something like that. And it just starts flying around on fire, and they're all trying to like hit the bird and stuff, and it just like bursts into flames. There's a scene where like him and his friend go to like Freddy's lair, which is like out in the middle of nowhere, and I think this is later in the movie when Jesse's friend's trying to when Freddy finally possesses his whole body, she's trying to go get him, so they go to where Freddy's lair is, and there's a dog. There's just like these dogs that come out, and they have like a baby face. You could tell they just put a baby face, like weird baby face mask on a dog, on these dogs. I thought, yeah, it is kind of like a stupid scene. Um, but like the final scene where he he's trying to defeat Freddy and get him out of his body. That scene was pretty cool too. The effects are pretty good. Like he, I mean, the idea was stupid. Like they said, love. Like this time, like love kills Freddy. So like Freddy's trying to break out of his body, and like Jesse's girlfriend, I guess it's his girlfriend. She's like, I love you, Jesse. This and like she's like burning up and stuff, and then like Freddy dies finally, and then Jesse comes out, and it's like, I'm I don't know, but anyways, yeah, I I enjoyed this sequel. I mean, like after this, like my favorite is part 3. That's my favorite one, but 4 and 5 they're like all right. 6 I hate that movie, and New Nightmare I like. But I actually did really enjoy the second movie. I don't know why people bash on it, why they give it low ratings, but I'm not trying to be mean. They, put 6 on a pedestal. I don't know why. That's just like that was just too goofy for me. That's when like the series went, yeah. But I'm trying to find out other scenes, like good scenes in this movie. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah, there's like this weird dance scene in the movie where Jesse has to clean up his room, so he puts on like these sunglasses, and like they kind of look like Elton John sunglasses. They're like gold plated, and they have like lightning bolts sticking out of them. And he puts on this pop song, goes like "Touch Me All Night Long," and he starts dancing, and like his friend walks in, and he's like smacking his butt up against the dresser drawer to close it. I thought that scene was pretty funny. I mean, it was kind of weird. I mean, this movie got some weird like stuff in it, so um, like I said, I'm not really gonna get into all the gay subtext, but there's just like people said there's like certain dialogue in it that's like, oh, this has like a kind of the gay tone to it, and like they how like Freddy's trying to get out of Jesse's body. They said that's like a metaphor for coming out of a closet and stuff. I mean, I don't really see it. I mean, maybe if I was gay or something, I could see it, but I mean, there is like that one scene I said where he goes into that gay bar, but I mean, that was it really. But anyways, that's my review.